Hello and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. We're at South Blackpool, not quite the furthest south of Blackpool, but certainly South Blackpool. And it's sunny but quite cold. We're still in March. This is a slightly out of season video, but in another couple of weeks it'll all start to change rapidly. And I'm going to take you for a walk along the prom. We're going to go for a walk from here, which is Waterloo Road, all the way down to Central Pier. And we're going to have a look at some of the interesting bits and bobs on the seafront as we go along. So, I hope you enjoy this video, in which case if you do, don't forget to give it a like and don't forget to tell all your friends. And don't forget to sign up for that email newsletter. So let's go and see what we can see, shall we? So the first thing to start with is where we are. This is Waterloo Headland. This is part of the sea defence works that was finished. This bit was finished in 2012 and it was part of the £100 million sea wall project when all of the seafront from Central Pier to North Pier was rebuilt. And this is one of 6 headlands that were created. And the kind of curve and sweep all the way down the seafront with all these stepped revetments on the other side, so it's all lovely and accessible. And the beautiful Blackpool Tower just down there, so it's not that far a walk, but it's a little bit of a strain on your legs. And that's the Lake District that you can see down there in the distance, just at the left of North Pier. And on a clear day to the other side, to my left, you can sometimes see North Wales and Anglesey. It's obviously quiet today because it's a bit out of season. It's also a bit nippy, even though it's nice and bright, and it's also midweek. But even in the height of the season and in the middle of the week, it never really gets packed down this end of Blackpool, because there's such a lot of space and there's space for everybody. So if you like Blackpool and you like the busyness but not too busy, this is a good area to make for. Quite near to the Pleasure Beach and quite near to South Pier. So this is Waterloo Road, straight in front of us, where Notoriani's ice cream is. And Waterloo Road dates back to the Land Enclosure Acts of the 1760s. It's one of the old original long straight roads that you'll find all over Blackpool that were laid out to divide up all the parcels of land for different landowners back in the day. And that heads off straight down there to the junction where you turn right to go to the range and to the M55, and then way beyond that straight inland. The tarmacking, I think I might just stand here for 10 minutes. It smells lovely. I've just walked past it breathing in deep. Little lad said to me, "Don't it smell nice?" Quite a few of you have asked me about oh look, it's an ice cream coloured bench. That's nice, I like that. That's posh. Quite a few people have asked me about Hart's shop, which was demolished last year, so I thought I'd just show you that on my way past. Well, I declare, would you believe it? And go to the foot of our stairs. So as you can see, there's a fence around it and some cars. So one would guess it's going to be a car park. Anyway, you asked, so I said, oh heck, I think that one's died. Trust me to pick the day when they're doing the road works. I've got purple barriers in all my photos. Anyway, Dutton Arms. So this is my next little bit of information on the corner of Waterloo Road. I love these old road signs as well. Can you see this one here on the corner? Just next to the drain pipe. I think they're lovely. So the Dutton Arms, this one dates to 1931, and you can tell when you look at it because you can see that it's all Art Deco. And it's on the site of the 1890s commercial hotel, which I didn't know. And the commercial hotel sold Old Ben Ale, which was a strong dark 6% beer known as OBJ. And apparently there are OBJ initials all over other pubs in Blackpool, so you need to keep an eye out for that when you're going out boozing. See if you can spot an OBJ initial. And it stood for Overjoyful, which I guess is what you are when you've been drinking their 6% beer. I do like this Miller Tarmac. Oh, that smells lovely. That smells really, really nice. Really, really nice. And these are the old back streets and the old hotels of Blackpool. It's quite interesting actually, because by 1819, I just mentioned about the land enclosure and the old straight roads that carve Blackpool up. And it was round about 1819 when the first house was built facing the shore in this area. The homeowners started renting out bedrooms, and then you end up with a hotel boom. Oh, that's cheap. £1.20 an hour, £7.90 for 12. That's cheap. Goodness me, that's a good advert. So you get to this one, you go, you come from Waterloo Road, which is one way that way, so you can't turn left at the lights. And off Waterloo Road, you just come through this little gateway here, so there's no access from the front. That's a good one, that. Ooh, I'll have to remember that. Anyway, while we're on the subject of this car park, apparently a planning application's been put in to put a painted advert on the sides of here. You know, like back in the day when they used to actually paint big advertising signs onto the sides of buildings. They're talking about doing that, and it looked as if it was a application by Nomad Clan, which is Hayley, who paints with Christian, who's done quite a bit of the work in Cleveland's. It's not them. Apparently people often use their work to illustrate what they're talking about when they're going to put a planning application in, and it's not them. That poor woman, they're all stood watching her. Anyway, next building along is Yates's Wine Lodge. And you'll know that I've kept complaining about this because it's a right pig hole, as we would say in Yorkshire. Just look at all rubbish down here. I think landlords and landowners ought to be made to keep properties tidy when they're empty. It's to stamp all this mess out, because it's quite common, isn't it, that they just leave them to become derelict practically. Anyway, it's been in the local press this week that a planning application has been submitted for this, and they're going to put another floor on top in keeping with the Art Deco style of it. And apparently Mr. Basri's having it from Blackpool North Station. And it's going to be an eating and hotel establishment, so that'll be nice. We'll take some photographs and we can record its grotty state before anything happens. And definitely look better than it does now, won't it? Right, we'll carry on our way. I will walk along the prom. Donuts are open and serving. Oh, Burgers is opening his shutters, look. Everybody will be getting ready now to open and get ready for Easter. My grandma always used to, at the Hotel Athol, she used to come on bus trips, on coach trips, and she used to say there, oh look, fire engine and an ambulance. Somebody's in trouble. This looks like another strip out job. When you look at them though, they date back to the late 1800s, and the big properties, and they must take some maintaining and some filling. And every so often you see the skips at the front and all the stuff comes out, and they give them a good strip out and they start again. And the Oakwell Hotel is always a source of interest to me, because I always wonder whether they came from Barnsley. because of course the football stadium at Barnsley is called Hopewell. So if anybody's ever stopped there or anybody knows them, can you pop a comment underneath and let me know? There's another one down here called the Dutchman, and I always wonder whether they're from Jump. In fact, I went in one day and asked her, and the poor woman, she just looked at me. She just looked. And then you get to ones like this Lord's Hotel, which is a mystery to me. Because as you can see, they've replaced the windows upstairs. They've all got the sticky labels on them that you put on a window when you're refitting them. But they never seem to make any progress. And then of course they've got this bus thing parked in the front yard. I mean, it just looks grotty. It just wants tidying up, doesn't it? It just wants tidying up. And then we're at St Chad's Terrace. So St Chad's Terrace was built in 1891 between Woodfield Road and St Chad's Road, and I believe this one's St Chad's Road with the little bicycles up there, look, on the tops of the poles. I'm sure this is St Chad's. Yes, it is. That one's St Chad's. And this is where St Chad's Hotel was, which you'll remember that we watched being demolished. And they've got the planning consent for the new hotel. There's a pallet down here. Look, if Kevin sees that, could be climbing over the fence and collecting it. And St Chad's Road was also the site of the first fixed switchback railway in the UK. You might wonder what a switchback railway is, and it's the precursor to the old roller coasters. And this is what the new hotel's going to look like. So when they get cracking, it's going to be a Bobby Dazzler. This is the Lindeen here, which is next door, and they're talking about when they've built this, knocking the Lindeen down and rebuilding that as a new hotel similar to this. And it's owned by the company that owns the Imperial. Now then, are they from Hong Kong or somewhere like that? Somewhere oriental. It's a big sort of multinational company that's got Fragrance Group, it's called, that's got loads of hotels all over the place. And then across here, you've got St Chad's Headland. So these little shaped grass banks are all part of the design of the sea defences. So they're designed to stop the water coming up and over. And this is St Chad's Headland. It's one of the 6 curves like the Waterloo Headland that we started this video off with. And this was the first one to be finished. And this was in March 2007. So if it took the thick end of 5 years between doing this one and Waterloo, you can see how long it took to do all the sea wall. Goodness, the rig's clear. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it or not. In between the flagpole, let me just wiggle the camera up. In between the flagpole and the end of the pier, can you see the rig? That's off North Wales. That's in the channel down there. In fact, I can see Southport. I don't think you will, but I can just make the land out at the back of it. Beautiful day. Gorgeous. And we're getting closer and closer to Central Pier. Oh, that's a welcome sight. Go on, what they call them, hansom cab in the middle of the week. That must mean that winter's on its way to being finished. the Dutchman look. So the Dutchman was a pub almost next door to where my best friend lived. And I never pass it without I think of Jane and those long 1980s evenings watching television and playing Pac-Man. And our next stop is then of course the Manchester, as we're heading towards Central Pier. And this 1996 one, is a rebuild of the original building. I think it's the third one actually that stands on this site. And the previous Art Deco building was completely rebuilt because it was so badly corroded. The sea is merciless and mighty. So originally there was a Manchester pub on this corner that dated back to 1845, and Spen Dyke discharged out. It drained from Martin Moss, which is sort of somewhere down there, down that way, and it drained out into the sea, pretty much in this area. And that's why it's so susceptible to flooding, because all the original drainage channels and all the old rivers and streams and things have all been either blocked off or culverted or diverted, and because it's so low to ground level, when it gets wet it all needs somewhere to collect. So the original one was rebuilt in May 1936, and I remember that one. I remember the old one. It's quite an attractive, if I remember it was a cream faience stone one, as is in keeping with, I'm just looking for some cream faience, there's not around here, as is in keeping with Blackpool and its architecture. So this is a busy little corner, this is known as Manchester Square, and going down there is Rigby Road. So you've got your tram sheds, just tram sheds. You've got your Blackpool Transport office down there on the right hand side, and at the back of it, at the back of this block of buildings here, is the tram sheds, the old original tram sheds, which is now where you can go for your heritage tram tour. Do you remember the windmill? This across here is the pumping station for the huge underground sewage pipe that runs the full length of the promenade all the way down to Fleetwood. And it used to be a windmill, the pumping station, and they used to light it up at Christmas. They were quite nice actually. They're quite a nice feature. In fact, I'm sure we've got a photograph of it. There's a page of old Blackpool photographs on our Live Blackpool website, and I'm sure there's a photo on there of the windmill. And this area is known as Foxhall. And we're coming down to what was the Foxhall pub. It's Mark Kelly's now. And Foxhall was one of the town's original 6 wards, dating right back to when Blackpool became incorporated as a district council. So it dates back to the year dot. Craigie Don is a member of Stay Blackpool. See photographs inside that, and it looks really nice. Blenheim Mount we've been in. We did a review of that one day last year. Sadly it was a cold grey day when we went in, and then of course the sun comes out. And then here's the Foxhall pub. I've just spotted a blue plaque. On this spot stood Foxhall, the first substantial house in Blackpool, built circa 1670 by Edward Tildesley. Edward's son, the diarist Thomas, had Foxhall until his death in 1715. By the 1780s, Foxhall had become dilapidated, and its eastern end became a farm, while the end near the sea became a lodging house. In the 1800s, it was extended to become a public house, and between 1840 and 1885, Richard Caton was landlord. It was then purchased by Thomas Lockwood, who added a concert hall. In 1890, Foxhall Hotel was acquired by the Seed family until February 1964, when it was sold to C&S Brewery. When the hotel was demolished in December 1990, the south bay facing the sea was found to have been part of a cobbled building running west to east. So there you have it. And now, of course, it's Mark Ellis. And it shines brightly at night. Shines brightly at night, it does. And we've nearly arrived at our destination. Now we're into seaside traditional shops. And they're all closed at the moment because it's middle of the week, in the middle of March. But give it another, 3 weeks, and it'll be as busy as busy. It will. The glass blowing places open. He started blowing his glass. He's still making his ornaments, despite the fact that he said he didn't want filming. Misery. There's not many miserable people in Blackpool, but I think he's one of them. And there's another video as well. This is Yorkshire Street. There's another video as well. Blackpool Council have got 90 million to improve housing in this area at the back of here and surrounding streets, which is quite interesting actually. You'll enjoy that one when that's online, so make sure you've got your notifications enabled and you'll be able to watch it. And here we are, we've arrived at our destination. That looks more like normal life, doesn't it? Shops open and stalls at the front. So there's Central Pier. We'll do the base of the prom in different sections. We've already done pier to pier a number of times, so we'll do it in bits. We'll do it in bits. So I hope you've enjoyed that little walk along slightly out of season Blackpool seafront. Come and get your hats. We'll do it again in summer when it's busy, and then you can see just how different it all looks. So click clock. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye for now.